All right, let's jump right in. We're going to break down a new category in AI called the Enterprise Autonomy OS. And look, we're not talking about hype here. This is all about a system built for one single purpose, delivering a real, measurable return on investment in the business world.
You know, the days of just being impressed by AI are, well, they're over. Today, savvy investors and sharp business leaders are focused on one thing: the unit economics of intelligence. The big question has shifted from, hey, what can this thing do, to show me the numbers. What's the tangible, data-driven proof of its value? The entire conversation has moved from novelty to cold, hard numbers.
Okay, so if the goal is ROI, what's getting in the way? Well, it's this thing we call the automation execution gap, and it's a big deal. There's this huge chasm between what AI promises on paper and what most companies can actually get done in the real world.
I mean, take a look at this. Does this feel familiar? For so many business owners, this is their daily reality. You're just drowning in all that manual repetitive stuff, scheduling, data entry, all those follow-ups. And this isn't just a time suck, it's a major roadblock that's literally holding back growth.
So this whole execution gap really comes down to three main problems. First, you've got the obvious one, the massive time drain from all those manual tasks. Second, a lot of the AI tools out there, the generic ones, they just don't solve your specific business problems. And third, and this is a huge one, the very real risk of sending your sensitive company and client data out into a public cloud AI. For a lot of businesses, it's a non-starter, period.
And that really changes how you have to think about data privacy, right? It's not just some compliance checkbox anymore. In today's world, with all the cyber threats out there, exposing your data is a strategic risk. So protecting it isn't just playing defense. It's a fundamental part of your business strategy.
So, the big question is, how do we fix this? How do we bridge that gap? Well, it all starts with one simple idea: regaining control. We've got to shift from being dependent on other companies' platforms to having sovereignty over our own data and our own tech.
And the way you do that is with something called the sovereignty stack. Think of it like this: it's an operating system that's built to put you back in the driver's seat. It lets you use all the power of AI without getting locked into some platform you don't own, making sure your business stays strong, and most importantly, your data stays your data.
So what does that look like in the real world? It's simple. You bring the AI in-house with a private on-premise server. That means your data never, ever leaves your building. You're not dependent on the cloud, and you have total privacy. This setup, this is the foundation of real data sovereignty.
All right, so once we've built that foundation of control, we can start to talk about how this technology actually works. And this is where it gets really interesting, because we're moving past just simple tools that give you answers. We're talking about an autonomous system that actually takes action.
And this is a really critical distinction. We're talking about a system of action. This is not a chatbot you just ask questions to. No, this is an engine that plugs directly into your core business systems. We're talking your CRM, your ERP, the whole shebang, and it performs work all on its own. It's not about providing answers, it's about executing outcomes. So how do you get there? The framework is actually pretty straightforward, just 3 steps. First, you automate all that repetitive, low-value work. Second, you privatize the whole setup on-premise, so your data is secure. And third, you customize it by deploying smart agents that are trained specifically on your business data and your workflows.
Okay, now for the part that really matters, the bottom line, the ROI. For any investor, for any business owner, this is where the rubber meets the road. What's the actual hard data that proves this thing works?
Look, fuzzy promises about making you more efficient just don't cut it anymore. The market demands cold, hard metrics. So let's get into the numbers.
First up, the process automation rate. This system is designed to handle over 70% of a core workflow completely on its own. To be clear, in 2026, that is the best-in-class benchmark. We're talking about a fundamental shift of labor from people to machines.
So what does automating 70% of your work actually feel like? Well, it translates directly into getting back an average of 30 hours a week. Think about that. That's almost a full-time employee's worth of time that you and your team can now pour into high-value, strategic work, the stuff that actually grows the business.
Next up, let's talk operational leverage. This is all about doing more with what you already have. Businesses that put these systems in place are seeing, on average, a 10x efficiency return on their automated workflows. And here's the kicker, that's within the first 90 days. This isn't some far-off dream. It's a rapid, measurable impact.
And finally, the one metric that every CFO and investor lives by, return on AI investment, or ROAI. This system delivers a better than 4-to-1 return. Let me be crystal clear about that. For every single dollar you put into this tech, you get over $4 back in real financial benefit.
And look, these numbers aren't just something we pulled out of thin air. They line up perfectly with the top-tier benchmarks that venture capitalists and serious investors are using to judge elite AI companies right now in 2026. A 70% automation rate, a 4-to-1 ROAI, that's the new gold standard.
So, okay, the ROI is solid. That brings us to the final crucial question for any long-term thinker or investor. What about the long game? How is this defensible? What's to stop a competitor from coming along and doing the exact same thing?
This is where you can really see the massive difference between a flash-in-the-pan advantage and a real, long-term competitive moat. Over on the left, you've got these generic AI wrappers. They're just a thin layer built on top of someone else's platform, like OpenAI. Think of it like leasing a storefront. It's easy to get started, but anyone can come along and lease the one next door. Now, on the right, you have an integrated system of action. Because it's woven deep into your business operations and trained on your own private data, it's like owning the entire building. The cost and pain of switching becomes incredibly high, and that is what creates a durable, competitive advantage.
So it all boils down to this powerful, really simple strategy. First, you protect what's valuable, your data, through sovereignty. Then, you automate what's repetitive with a true system of action. And when you do that, you get to elevate what is uniquely human: strategy, creativity, real connection. So that leaves us with one final thought. In this new autonomous future, what are you going to do with all that time you get back?